Greetings, true believers. Matt Hall here with a update video. It's been a while since the last one. Could be anywhere from 7 to 18 days. A lot's happened. I guess I'll say I got some mint Numinos. I've been thinking about these for a while. Not big on sweets, but I saw these at the store. I thought, man, I want those. And I didn't get them. I waited a while. I got them. I'm not going to eat one. I prefer if you never see me eat, to be honest. But I have eaten some, and they're pretty good. Also, a while ago, I announced I was making a game. Now, I'm actually making several games. But because it's a one-man operation for the most part, and I am just going to do a little grinding as I talk about this. I'm doing a lot of pre-production on these games, as much as I possibly can. And the big thing for me was understanding how to make several systems, basically dialogue, inventory, camera, movement, save system, which I don't really have down yet. Hi, Mama. That's Minnow. Oh, you gonna come up here? Come here. Come here. Come on, miss. Come here. Hi. Oh, don't show your butthole. You're gonna get us taken down. Anyway, the idea for me is to make those systems so I can make multiple games. Now, the games won't all look exactly the same per se. I kind of have two very different visual styles in mind for these two games I'd like to make. But I also said in an update video not too long ago that, how has that been up like that this whole time? Anyway, I said not too long ago in an update video that I had deleted all the progress I made on a game I was working on over the summer. And it's true. I did delete my progress. And it hurt. But I went back in and it's honestly better the second time around. So I still want to make two games in particular. I want to make a lot of games. I'd like to make games for a long time. As long as I'm able to live. I think this is the next thing I want to get into creatively. I see it as a way to take all of the different skills and interests I have and put them all into one thing, and it's just a lot of fun. And the more I do it, the easier it is. And obviously it has its, difficulties, as any craft does, but I can see how to get stuff done easier and easier. So the game I'm working on right now it wasn't the first one. This was going to be the second game I was going to make, but the first one is tied to a grant that I still have not gotten final confirmation on whether or not I've been approved or denied for the grant. So I'm putting that on pause. But the game I am working on shares a lot of the DNA, like, under the hood with this other game. So, yeah, I'm not, like, making, like, an engine. I'm using Game Maker. But I'm creating systems that I can apply to both games. So things are moving forward very slowly. But as this summer show season is finally winding down, I have another month and a half left of gigs with my band and stuff and commitments like that, but I'll finally have more weekends and time where I'm not traveling or tired from travel, and I'll be able to work on these games. And the game that I am working on, it's going pretty good, and it's hard to talk about and everything, because I mean, I do regular updates over on the Discord if you really want to see those, but it's so far from where I want it to be, and it's like this like painting or this sculpture that I have to create one layer at a time. And so I'm stoked on like layer 0 through 5, but there's going to be like 50 layers. So like what I'm happy about right now, it's like, it's hard to be like, whoa, look at this. And not, I don't want to give the impression it's like, and this is it. This is the game. It's done, you know? Cause it's very unimpressive right now. And it's not really indicative of what I'm hoping to achieve. So yeah, I don't want to say too much everywhere too early. Like, I like sharing the updates on the Discord just because it's like, it's a nice way to stay accountable, and it's nice to give people like a closer look if they do want to like make the effort to go look at that stuff. But I'll probably wait a little while longer before, you know, posting any real significant updates. But I've got the camera and the movement and the collisions and the inventory system and the dialogue system all working really smoothly. I am going to wait for the save system because the way I've come to understand it is I kind of need to make a snapshot of everything I want to save, and I'm still not really sure how much I will want to include in that. I have an idea for the scope of the story. Sorry, Mom, you're heavy. She's such a little girl, but she does feel heavy when you're holding her up like that for too long. She doesn't want to look at the camera. Hi. She's like, no, I don't. Anyway, I'm probably gonna put that in later, but I'm having a lot of fun just building out little maps and rooms and thinking about the way all these little pieces will work to tell a little story. The goal is a game that you can beat in an evening or a weekend, hopefully 2 to 3 hours. I'd like to say more. I probably have said more in previous videos, but I guess the big update is just that it's going pretty well. Things are moving smoothly. Things are looking tighter and better than they were. They're feeling better than they were, just in terms of literally like the character movement and the camera and the snappiness of certain things is just where I want it, to where it's feeling good and fun to just walk around a little room. You know, to me, like if it doesn't feel smooth and natural to like just move around in the game world, I'm gonna have a harder time getting into the game. So I'm trying to really break things down to the simplest levels before, you know, going out. And so I've been basically creating these like test rooms where, you know, I can test all the functions of the game, and they're all working together right now. Now, every time I add a new thing, something else breaks. But I think that's just standard, and I'm getting better and better at learning how to fix those things. I shouldn't say they break. It's just like everything's kind of gotta just be scooted a little bit sometimes to account for a new feature. And I'm sure there's a more elegant way to do those things. You could probably, you know, you could probably implement things in such an order that you wouldn't run into that issue, but I'm an amateur. I don't know, and I'll learn, and I'll learn. So I don't want to give like a release date or anything like that, or even a release window. It's like, that's not even anywhere on my mind right now. I have an idea for a demo that will be a standalone story featuring a different protagonist, but it will introduce you to this game world and some of the characters in it. And when I was really kind of meditating on this the other night, I realized it's kind of just like Bright Falls, the TV show, the web series that they made before they put out Alan Wake. Where you see this reporter go to Bright Falls, he meets some of the characters, you get the vibe, he has a little story arc, and then things get handed off to the protagonist. That's essentially what I want to be doing with this demo. So my goal is to tighten everything up to the point where I can get that demo out, because the thing was, I didn't want to put out a demo for this game in particular too soon. And my goal was to put out a demo this summer, but I was pretty close, and I could have gotten there, but then I deleted everything. But it's good. It didn't feel as good. And I probably thought it felt fine, but feeling it now, it feels better. And I'll probably make a game in a couple years where I go, wow, I thought that was fine. This is fine, but yeah, my goal is to get this demo out, and I want it to be very polished. And that's another fun thing about doing stuff on your own, is that you can take time to polish things. Like I'm not trying to be beholden to anyone on this project and have any sorts of deadlines or people to, let down, basically, if I don't get things done when I said I would. But yeah, the next big update will be a standalone demo that I would imagine would take maybe 30 minutes. It's going to be a brief experience, but I'm hoping it will be rich enough that you feel the world I'm trying to build. And I do want these games to connect in ways that I don't really want to talk about too much, because I think it'll be fun for people to discover those connections on their own, but they will be there. Obviously, I'm taking huge influence from Remedy. It's impossible for me not to. I love their shit, and a lot of what they do is stuff that I've already loved about other games, like seeing those connections between titles. Remedy, really acknowledges it more than a lot of other creators do. But even when I was a kid, seeing Mario as the referee in the tennis game or whatever, or even just the different versions of Mario, from Mario Brothers Arcade to Donkey Kong to Super Mario Brothers, and seeing him in all of these, early 8-bit games where I think he was also the referee in, wasn't he the referee in Punch-Out? Or some, am I wrong about that? That doesn't feel right now, but he's been a ref in other games, and I think the idea when they created Mario was a character they could drop in anywhere. But all I'm saying is I love to see recurring characters and themes, and I love to put those things together and figure out a logic behind it. The thing is, sometimes there is no logic. Like with Legend of Zelda. Those games were not created thinking about a bigger picture. Well, from the get, I am thinking about a bigger picture, and I am trying to build something that is intentionally connected and intentionally, maintains a continuity. And this is something also that I see in the games of Mike Klubnika, I think it is, who did he's done a bunch of games now, but a lot of his games seem to have this thread through them that people are slowly discovering. So I'm having a lot of fun writing and thinking and doing stuff and learning how to make my little ideas about the game work. And I'm such an amateur to the point where stuff that I there's stuff that I'll spend 2 hours being like, how do I do this? And then I get it. I'm like, oh, of course. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not giving great examples because I'm just thinking about all this, the code I've been writing, and then Googling why isn't my code working, and trying to look at other examples of code and taking what I need from it. It's you can't really. How I started learning game dev stuff was through tutorials, and basically just copying the tutorial and then modifying the code in the tutorial to make it do what I wanted it to do. And that was a good way to get my feet wet. But the thing with, looking at tutorials and examples and stuff is that those are solutions to very specific problems. And there's no guarantee that what works for one instance is going to work for your game. There are some general rules you can apply. There are things in the coding language that always mean the same thing, but still, like a solution, everything is so specific to your goals. So, I don't know. It's just such an interesting thing. Anyway, that's the big update, is the game is going pretty good and I feel great about it and I'm just having a lot of fun. So I think about it all the time. I'm writing down ideas all the time. I'm making lists of things to prioritize and make sure I keep myself on track. And it's just been going really good. I think the next thing I'm going to be working on is specifically understanding how to find the right balance between all the layers of sound. We'll have a music layer, sort of an ambient sound layer, and several layers of sound effects. The sound design is where I think I can really put in a lot of work to enhance the experience, because the game is using a kind of primitive, kind of pixel art kind of look. And that's a choice. I'd love to make a 3D game, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to learn Blender. I'm not going to learn 3D modeling. I just know I'm not going to do that. I've tried. I can do it a little bit with great difficulty, and I would start going insane. And if I were to make a 3D game, I would want to work with a small team and let myself focus on my strengths. So anyway, I'm hoping that the visuals in my game won't be very, impressive, I guess I'll say. And I think I'll have solid art direction, but it won't be the most immersive looking game. But I'm hoping the writing and the sound design and the feel of it is what pulls you in. And I'm having a lot of fun thinking about the sound as well, and capturing sounds, and I don't know. It's a blast. So I'll talk about that more when I have more to share, but it's just, since the last time I talked about it, I deleted everything. Everything's going good again. And we'll have a couple of games out in the future, which feels nice. Now, in the channel, the main channel, today I'm working on the Ed Log video. It's a huge task. The video is probably going to be about 90 minutes long. And it's just slow. It's just a slow process. It's lots of editing, lots of clips, lots of stuff, but it is moving forward. I feel really good about that too. We have shot episodes of Yeah, I've Played on Threshold and Harvester. The Threshold episode is published and will be out next week. Harvester episode is not edited yet, but I'll be getting to that eventually. I think the next episode we're going to shoot is going to be on Firewatch. So I'm excited to go through that game again. I played it a couple years ago, and I think it's just a wonderful experience. And a big influence, again, on my game, where it's like, Firewatch is a game you could play in a sitting. You can go 2-3 hours, play through that game. It's like watching a long movie. Not a long movie, but I guess a lot of movies are like 2 hours now, but that's the goal, is to make something that you can kind of just, digest in a single experience. Now, I got some stuff I want to share. I think this is fun. A little physical media haul. I got Iraq for Sale, The War Profiteers. This is some kind of documentary from Brave New Films. I don't know. This sort of like... this looks like maybe was like a Prison Planet thing, but probably not. IraqForSale.org. I don't know. I love political documentaries, especially independent ones. Gang Wars documentary. These were old HBO documentaries in the 90s. If this is what I'm thinking of. Yeah, Banging in Little Rock. Yeah. Oh, this is only disc 1? Weird. Okay, I guess there was a second disc that I didn't get. I got Michael Mann's Heat. Now, these were all from a sale, like a garage sale. 4 film favorites. This is 4 blaxploitation films. We got Hot Potato, Black Belt Jones, Black Samson, and 3 the Hard Way. I've only seen a couple of these. Excited to check out more. The Darkman Trilogy. I've only seen Darkman 1, and I loved it. I loved it when I was a kid. Darkman, starring Liam Neeson. I was going to say, is Liam Neeson in the second and third ones? Because I feel like I would have known about these movies, but I have a feeling they are... Yeah. I got a feeling the sequels might not be as good. But we'll find out. Straight Outta Compton. I went and saw this in the theaters. I almost never go to the theaters because I think it's a disgusting experience half the time. But I went and saw this with my friend Kyle, and we're both huge NWA, Dr. Dre fans. I love them all. I love MC Ren, the villain. Ice Cube. Yella. Dre and all the rest. Stan the Guitar Man. Yeah, I love NWA, and this had a bunch of bonus features that I was curious about seeing, so grab that. And I got Shakedown, which I don't know what this is. I got it purely based on the cover art, and these were all 50 cents a piece, so not a bad deal, in my opinion. I think I spent $5 at that sale, and I got a few other things. This is OG Mama, Real Talk, okay? This is Poems to Hip Hop Beats. Now, I can't find any info on this artist. It's this lady doing poetry over hip hop beats, like it says, but man, it is wild. It is some wild shit. She's saying some crazy stuff, and it's charismatic, it's poignant, it's funny, it's effective. I'm gonna put this on Internet Archive soon. Got Hill and Hollow Highlights. I don't know why I said Highland. So this is a chamber music series that happened in Saranac Lake, which is very close to where I live. My wife saw this in the pile. I grabbed this. A little local music history. That's always fun to find. Got Dirty Harry's Ghetto Heaven. All right, Dirty Harry. Here, we'll... All right, Dirty Harry. This cover rules. Hopefully this is coming across. This cover rules. This is a cool mixtape. It's a blend tape. A blend tape, if you don't know, it's like when a guy takes instrumentals and acapellas and blends them together and does like a 60-minute mix of remixes, basically. I got Trick Daddy's Thug.com CD. I wanted this so bad when it came out. That cover also rules. I wanted this so bad when it came out. Never heard it in full. I love the songs I know from it. I got David Allan Coe's Greatest Hits. I love Coe. Man, I love the typeface on the back here. That logo looks so good. A lot of his stuff is hard to find because he had a bad deal with his record label. Some of his stuff is out of print. Hard to even know what exists. Got this. This is an odd one. Hot Acoustics. This is another band I tried to look up real quick. Couldn't find anything. It says they're from South Britain, Connecticut. This is kind of like the cover. The case is all smashed up, but the disc is fine. Let me take a quick look inside here. Can I get this out? You see that? Yeah, so it's acoustic music, but they're running the acoustic guitars through amps. There's a lot of feedback and stuff. It kind of sounds like the Pixies, kind of sounds like Surfer Rosa, like in the mix. And it's interesting. It's a mix of like cowboy punk, Tom Waitsy kind of stuff, and kind of like that 4AD kind of like indie, like Pixies rock. I don't know. It's all over the place. Hot Acoustics, Expressway to Your Skull. I'll probably put this up online too. Not like the greatest thing I've ever heard, but there's some really interesting stuff, and it grows on me the more I listen to it. Also, this is in terrible condition, but it's a classic. I wanted to listen to it again. The Jerky Boys. Can't recommend this to everyone. It is very offensive, very crude. Ooh. Yeah. I got a Jerky Boy tin Bud Light like bar sign hanging up in my room that I really love. It's Rizzo. Anyway, The Jerky Boys. This video is a little dark, isn't it? Oh well. A couple books in the physical media hall here. Felix, the twisted tale of the world's most famous cat. This is a history of Felix the cat. Now, I love Felix the cat. My name was almost Felix when I was a kid. My mother talked my father out of it. Felix with the banjo. So good. Another early Felix. I don't know if I can show this on camera properly, but yeah, you know, a good book YouTuber would use like a top-down shot. Anyway, what I'm trying to communicate is there is a little Felix flip book in the corner. Yeah, and so this is a library copy of the book. Got some nice Felix sketches on the inner cover. And this is not so much about the character Felix, the crazy cat. Now, you might know George Harriman's Crazy Cat, also spelled with 2 Ks. Who's the crazier cat? I don't know. Is it Felix? He's got the bag of tricks, or is it the crazy cat? This is also a really wonderful shot right here of these 2 children with what appears to be a life-size Felix doll. Okay? Put that in your next indie horror game. This is more about the creators and how Felix came together, and it was the different people who took ownership of the character over time, and how the character evolved and the animations and stuff. But I think this is such an awesome book. So many great images of Felix, so much interesting information. I love these shots of Felix right here. Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and feeling, of course, the 5 senses. Felix has them all. A couple other things I got. I'm going to put my fingers over this. This is a Penthouse Comics from 1993 or 94. I think 94, right? 94. December 94. November, December. Can't really show the inside of this, I don't think. Oh, I can show this great watch ad on the back. The G-Shock Illuminator. But yeah, I got it because the Frank Frazetta cover. Just gonna look real quick. And the art in here is awesome. I'm not like a huge collector of adult comics, but I like some of it. Yeah, there is nudity on nearly every page. Oh, I can show this. This is some good looking stuff to me. This is kind of heavy metal, kind of influence type stuff to me. Love heavy metal. Yep, you can't show the next page. Can't show that. Can't show that. Definitely can't show that. Really, really awesome art, though, man. I can show this. Arthur Suydam. Sudam? That rules. That's very cool. It's not all naked ladies. Can't show that. It's a cool landscape there. And the front cover just has a little butt on it. That's why I'm and then here's a book he did. That looks wild. Is that a xenomorph? Man. Never heard of this guy. I've probably seen his work. He was published by Dark Horse Comics. Yeah, and then there's some stuff about Frank Frazetta here. Pretty cool. Glad I picked that up. Grabbed a few other floppies. I got an issue of American Flag that I did not own before. This is a Howard Chaykin book, one of my favorite comic artists. And I got an issue of Clive Barker's Hyperkind. And not the greatest book, but I've been trying to get a complete run of these Clive Barker books, which I just think are kind of neat. You know, they're not incredible. It's, I don't know, it's kind of avant-garde superhero stuff. One thing I think is really funny is this X-Men ad. It's like, my favorite X-Men, Spider-Man. Also grabbed this comic artist file, Frank Miller. So this is a long-form interview with Frank Miller. I wish it didn't have the price tag stuck on the back. I tried to get that off. I could not. Shit bothers me. But this just has a bunch of black and white Frank Miller work in it. Man, he's one of my favorite artists. You know, I got a complicated relationship with him, as I'm sure many comic fans do. Don't like everything he's done or everything he seems to espouse, but oh man, yeah, his work on Ronin was so good. It's the 21st century, Casey. Try to have an open mind. Miller's very first Daredevil. Frank Miller pencils over here. I don't know if I've seen Miller's work that early before. Anyway, this is just a great little look at the work of Frank Miller. And yeah, and this whole thing is an interview with him. It's like a 30-page interview. Awesome stuff. Lastly, the last thing in this little haul from Matt Hall, Batman Black and White, a collection of black and white. I don't know what the fuck am I doing here. This is I feel like I've got the strangest focus today. Yeah, it doesn't look good on the camera. Trust me, this is a cool collection of Batman stories in black and white. And that's it. So just a little chat about the game, where it's at, the channel, some stuff I got. All this stuff got relatively cheap. I do need to sell a bunch of comics. As I get more shit, I try to get shit out. I try to, you know, I'm not like a collector so much as I want to experience stuff, and then it's like, if I've read it, great, I can pass it on. If I really love it and I want to like keep it, I'll hang on to it, re-experience it later. But I gotta sell a bunch of comics very soon. I got like a growing pile of stuff that can go. Maybe that will be a thing I do in a video. Maybe. All right. time to get back to work. Just want to make a little update. Say, hey, what's up? Hope you're doing well. Okay. Bye.